All right. Let's put together some goals. Let's reflect a little on the previous year. And I don't know if I'm really going to change a lot of things. And I have some quantifiable goals, so I think that's good for me. I need a little bit of accountability in terms of like numbers. And I have like one non-bookish goal, kind of two, but I don't know if the other one of them is one I'm like willing to like share on the internet. um but yeah, last year was probably my first chill year in a while. Like 2023 was a mess, 2024 was recovering from a mess, and 2025 felt sort of like we could get our footing as a household. Now, then the world is the world, but on top of that, and I am filming this on a fairly stressful day for me. Yeah, it's just, the world's a little weird right now, and it just keeps finding ways to get weirder. But I do find reflection and trying to figure out what I want to do helpful. So let's just first talk about bookish things. So last year I read 110 books, about 40,000 pages, and that's reasonable for me. It's like that's kind of been my average since being on BookTube the past 5 years. One year I was like in 130, 140 land, and that was too much for me and my ability to read and do other hobbies and be with my friends, etc. I just was not enjoying that. I think last year I read 100 books, which was pretty good. So yeah, I feel like 110's a reasonable number. I really didn't have to think too hard about it. It means I read between like 6 and 12 books a month. It just depends. Now, in that 110, I thought I don't do stats videos anymore, but the one stat that I still think is kind of interesting is looking at genre breakdown. So here's a little graph that I've put together. Most read genre, still fantasy. So that's like 37%. Not quite 37%. Whatever 37 divided by 110 is. You're seeing a graph. I haven't made the graph yet. 37 books were from fantasy. So that's my biggest pie. The next biggest is science fiction. I always say it's the year of sci-fi, and I never have it be my most read genre, but I do think 29 out of 110 books being science fiction is a very good showing. And there are like some books I put in horror that could have been in sci-fi, and I just had to pick based off of personal vibe. Like I think all the Area X books I put in horror, but they could have been put in science fiction. I don't know. Speaking of that, my third category, most read, is horror with 15 books. And then I did do a romance and romantasy separate because they scratch separate itches and they don't feel quite the same to me. I guess altogether that would have been 19 books, but romance itself, just contemporary romance, 12 books. And I did say I was reading about one of those a month, and apparently I was right. And then about 7 romantasy, that's like your Onyx Storm, that's the duologies that I've been reading here and there. And then I have 7 literary fiction and 3 nonfiction. So 10 of the 110 were not in any sort of genre category. Like I say literary, but like... And I do think that's numbers actually going to be going up because it really started to go up once I joined my local book club, and I think that's going to be a big thing for me. So that's like my fun genre breakdown. I also like tried to look and see what was my best month and my worst month. And I mean, hands down, my best month is March. March was like ungodly in terms of like, I was only reading 5-star new favorite books. You always wonder, do I even know what a 5-star read is anymore until you have one of those moments? And that was March. It had The Incandescent. It had Tio's Dorumi. It was so good. It was such a good month. I think my worst month is probably September, but in general, the last third of the year wasn't really great momentum-wise for me. Like, I don't think I had a bad reading time, but I had a really, stressful is not the right word, but I had a lot of work to do in the fall semester, building a new prep and teaching a boatload. And I also just had mental health fluctuations here and there. And so it just, I didn't read as many books or pages, and in that I didn't have that many standouts as well, and I think September was the worst of that, and the start of that. So, hopefully, that won't continue. I feel like I'm having a stronger start of the year already. And in terms of general goals, I'm just going to point you to my 26 in 2026 or my series to start in 2026. Those are my like actual like listicle sort of things. It has my TBR spin pile. I've already talked about like Hercat updates and stuff like that. So those are kind of sort of a lot of my plans. And then I have like 2 more reading plans that I haven't quantified in another location. One is short stories. I love short stories. I have started to really fall in love with reading short stories again, and I blame a lot of people in my Patreon for this. I have a public Discord. You're always welcome to join me in my public Discord. It's just a very casual, chill place. But I do have a Patreon-only side, and we do short story buddy reads there. And we started doing it after this past summer. We actually all read a lot of the Hugo-nominated works together. And we really loved how engaged we were in that conversation. And so a few of us have kind of kept that going. And right now we've been reading a bunch of stuff that we're going to maybe nominate for next year's Hugos. And it's been so engaging for me. I read like a story or 2 a day when I was on my Christmas break. And I loved it. So I want to keep that energy. So I know I can't quite keep to that level because this was just me in a house that wasn't my own. So I didn't have like TV or anything. So I was just like on my phone reading a short story, which was like perfect. But I do want to try and read 4 short stories a month that are just in magazines and things like that. A lot of them are freely available. Some of them aren't, but I might still buy like Faya magazine. It's just like a quarterly magazine. It's only $3. Might look into getting Choreo earlier. Like there's a bunch of magazines I'm not against supporting, especially if I can keep up my reading momentum. And then there's Clark's World and Uncanny that release a lot of their stuff freely on the interwebs. And I'm just excited to try and do that. So trying for 4 short stories a month. That's 1 a week, you know? That's me maybe carving out a Saturday morning or something like that. Another thing is I have a bunch of collections and anthologies. So I would like to at least intentionally be like, if you feel like it, reach for this collection this quarter. And so this quarter, the one I'm telling you that I want to reach for is The Other Shore by Rebecca Campbell. This was the author of Arboreality, which is one of my favorite climate sci-fi books that I've ever read. And this was a short story collection by them that came out last year, and I'd really like to get to it. And so that's me putting it into the ether. My other general kind of reading intentionality is I do want to still be reading general literary historical fiction, but I just don't prioritize it as much. It's just not like I don't grab for it as easily. Again, hoping that will change because of my local book club. But I did like intentionally putting just like 3 general fiction books on a quarterly TBR and kind of my goal check-in videos. And so that's what I'm going to do here. One of them I know I'll be reading because it is for my local book club, but that is You Dreamed of Empires. It's a translated work, I believe, from a Mexican author. And I believe it's potentially like alternate history or historical fiction. And I can't remember if it's specifically with the Mayans or the Aztec or a different indigenous group of individuals, but it has to do with colonization and empire. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know we're going to be reading it for book club and it works for this type of idea. Another one I have is the Tommy Orange book that I own on my TBR that I haven't gotten to yet. Wandering Stars, kind of a continuation of the book There. I always think about if I should reread There first. I don't know. Tommy Orange book here. I really love Tommy Orange as like an author. His prose are amazing to me. I don't remember a lot of short stories from there was a horror anthology, Something Whistle at Night, and I still remember Tommy Orange's story in that collection, like so good. And then my other one is an Isabel Allende. I have kind of, I think, probably her most popular one on my TBR now, The House of Spirits, I think is its name. So yeah, I would potentially like to get to this one because I also know I really like her writing style, you know, trying to stack the deck there in terms of, you know, going outside of my genre comfort zone. Otherwise, like, book life, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I'm generally still doing what I want to be doing. Last year, I didn't quantify this, but I do think I ended up reading more with my eyeballs last year. And I do think that was just a sign that my brain was a bit quieter. I still love using audiobooks. My commute is an audiobook commute, so that's still always going to be happening. I do like immersion reading when it makes sense, but I also do really like when my brain is quiet enough to let me focus and read a book. I like all of the ways. But that was just a trend that I generally noticed, is that sometimes when I was reading less, it's because I wasn't grabbing an audiobook. Like I wanted a podcast instead, or I wanted music. And some stories I didn't want to listen to in just audiobook. So that was just something I noticed. And yeah, non-bookish goals. So in the room I'm in now, this is kind of going to become my office eventually, I think. I like this room. It's my sunroom. Not that you can see, because I always film in it when it's atrociously dark. So I always have my ring light and everything. But this is where we got my built-in shelves that I love. And yes, I haven't done a tour yet, and that's because this one over here isn't done yet, and like, I'll get there when I get there. These ones are pretty, and I like them, and they bring me joy. And I have a piano over here. I've played piano since I was 3 or 4 years old. I was classically trained, on a lot of Renaissance pianists. I mean, I want more Beethoven, though, and I think that's the thing. It's like, I want to teach myself Pathetique Sonata by Beethoven, which I can do. Like, I used to. Like, I was learning it in high school. And I wouldn't mind also, like, just, like, remembering some of my older pieces that I had in my repertoire and stuff like that. But I just got a new piano bench for my piano, so my setup is good. I'm not, like, sitting on a chair with a bunch of cushions anymore, and the keyboard's here. So I would like to play piano more. Now, that's tricky, because it's just, like, another hobby that takes time out, and I can't listen to audiobooks, so I can't multitask with piano, which I think is both a good thing and a bad thing. I think there's a lot of good quality use to that for my mental health, to have to solely focus on a thing, but I also find that will be a challenge. So I think what I would like to have as an intentionality is maybe spending 20 minutes a day on the piano, which isn't a whole lot of time, but it's also a century of time. And I don't have to do it all in one sitting. Like, if I want to do it in 10-minute increments or 5-minute increments, that's fine. And I think having that small kind of jump start will naturally lead to some sessions where I'm playing more than 20 minutes. And other times it's like, at least I'm building the muscle memory, because a lot of piano is muscle memory. And what's tricky for me with piano is I was taught a lot by mimicry. Like, I know how to read sheet music, but I didn't learn really how to follow sheet music in real time with piano like I did with clarinet, which was another instrument I played when I was in high school. But yeah, I would really like I like the song, the Pathetique Sonata. If you don't know it, like, Beethoven is such a drama queen. And I just really like it. Like, it does mean pathetic, I think. I mean, I guess I don't know Italian. But, and also the second movement is what was literally used in one of my favorite Billy Joel songs. So I have a lot of love for that song. And so I would like to teach it to myself and learn it. And I think that would be nice. Another non-bookish goal, I need to finish Horizon Forbidden West. I keep not finishing it. I need to not start it over again. I have like a third of it left, not even. Like, I probably could, if I chose to ignore all side quests, just like finish it. I have the skill to do it. I just haven't. So that's something that I'm just saying to put it into the ether as like a goal. But otherwise, I just want to be easy on myself. It's going to be a time. And I think something I want to just make sure I give myself space to be is just grateful for where I am, the things we have accomplished. I have some house goals. Last year, one of my goals was to get more art on the walls, and we did. So I want to keep doing that. Like, there's still always things to unpack, always things to organize, always things to hang on walls, but I would like to just keep moving in that direction. We got a lot of big ticket items off the list last year that we needed to do that were less fun. The shelves were a fun one. So yeah, that's just generally where I'm at. And sorry if my energy's a little wonky. It's wonky out there. I'm fine. My family's fine. I'm just exhausted and frustrated and sad and annoyed. And it's just, bleh. And the reason why I wanted to film is, like, I enjoy creating a video. And even though maybe it doesn't seem like I'm in great spirits, I do feel better doing this. So thank you if you are here for listening to me and always being around and being a part of my community. I'm really grateful to have all the people that I have around me. Oh, that was another big thing for the channel. I don't know when I'll organically talk about it, but there was a magazine. It's a tour magazine. It's Reactor, and enough people in this world like shouted me out, and like I'm on a list with people like Critical Role, like Books and Lala, like Elliot Brooks, and I'm just like, what? like when I saw that was the best Christmas present I got this year. So thank you guys. Like, I really appreciate you all, and I'm about to get teary-eyed on camera, which I'm not going to do. So let me know what goals you have for the upcoming year, and if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, leave fireworks because it's the new year, and otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.